Good morning, everybody. Couple minute delay this morning. Wednesday, June 28, 2023 at 9 a.m. EST. Board of Health members and staff will meet in the meeting room, 2 Memorial Hall, 272 Main Street, and this is a revision I'm reading off of. The Board of Health will hold its the meeting of the Board of Health will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend in person in this meeting. Roll call.
Gavin Byers.
Chris Novella.
James Lequire. Additions and or deletions not anticipated 48 hours in advance. I got one that I want to bring up. The house on Main Street, the fact that the original was built.
Oh, the 310 Main Street?
Yeah, I just want to explain that
Okay, absolutely.
to the board.
Okay. Do you just want to start with that now? You just want to add that now?
Zoom meeting requested by Board of Selectmen. Well, Zoom meeting's been requested by Board of Selectmen and we are in compliance. Good morning. All right, I will go right to that. What, do you remember the number of that, Carla?
It's 310 Main Street.
Just to bring it to your attention for those of you who are going to carry on and future members, we overlooked something on Main Street. We had an existing house that was in distress, harm's way. And they came in and they wanted a permit to tear the existing house down and on the same parcel of land put in a brand new home with a new septic system. We overlooked the fact that in the construction between the old building and the new building, the old building they were still occupying and the new building was brand new for that occupancy. Well, the light company went down and shut off the lights and shut off the gas and turned the house out back on.
Go.
The septic system not being in compliance, the Neshoba wasn't going to go along with that. Carl got a hold of me, Kevin got a hold of me actually, Smith, and that's 100% fine, and told me the scenario, and I realized that we had overlooked a situation that shouldn't be holding anybody up. So I asked Carl to assist a little bit, and we put together a special permit via Neshoba to allow them to put dumpsters on the property to tear the old house down prior to them finishing the actual septic system. Okay? What did we give them, 60 days?
60 days.
We gave him a 60-day extension on that.
And the only thing left that he needed to do was loam and seed, which doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
loam and seed when you're
Because
gonna
they
have
would
a
have thrown the dumpsters
dumpster
right over the
and all
fresh
the
loam and
excavation
seed.
going on.
They would have had,
We ran into this situation once before already, where it was a loam and seed issue. I forget the specifics, but it was a, hey, we can't do that yet because there's no room on the property.
really, you don't.
Yeah, no, it was early on in me getting here. And it might have even been winter time that it was like, hey, we're not gonna loam and
I
seed in
think we had,
January.
yes, there was something because of the time frame with Mother Nature didn't work out.
So I
Yeah.
think, but see, 310, I just spoke with Kevin for a couple minutes.
Kevin Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't, I guess this is just, like you're saying, like we just need to catch this earlier and allow a provision beforehand
Right.
to get to these situations, because, I mean, they're gonna have all kind of problems with power, utilities.
Yeah.
In these small tight lots like that.
Anyway, the way it all came down, I took it upon myself to make a couple of decisions so that the contractor and homeowner could go forward.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to express to the board.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so everybody's 100% in tune and we know what's going on.
Yep, thank you.
Okay? No issues with that, right?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Any else, any other comment? No? That's it. How's that, Chris?
All set?
What are you so smiley for?
Just smiling.
Okay, cool. All right, public hearing. Revision to local tobacco regulations. We have to continue this because the lady is sick.
Joan has a health issue right now, as well as there's some tweaking that's going on the state level with some of the regulations. So to have a public hearing right now is a little premature. So she'd like to put it off till later in the summer. I put it off until the 26th, but I don't know if that's where we might have to continue further.
This is something we have to communicate with her about, so we make sure we're gonna have the opportunity without her being sick again.
Well, it's not so much Joan being sick as the state is revamping, they're tweaking the
Oh, okay,
regulations.
yeah,
So
that's what you-
we're kind of putting the cart before the horse right now, because if they're gonna be changing something, why would we change it? Because we just have to go back and change it again.
Okay.
So,
What's your
that's what it
opinion?
is.
Sounds sound.
Okay, moving forward, shall we wait till she notifies us that the state's finalized their stuff and then schedule it?
I would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that a little, something you wanna give a little?
Okay,
maybe just
So when
put
she's
it,
all set with the state's all set, then we bring her in and we're good to go.
Do
okay.
you want
Alright.
to just have this continued on the agenda until it's, until she comes up, or do you want to remove it?
I think we should remove it actually
Yeah.
until she's ready, because I think it's gonna confuse people to continue it, and it's listed as a public hearing, and I think she's probably gonna wanna come in and talk to you about the changes before
right.
the actual
Well,
public
that's gonna be
hearing.
My comment was, we should probably talk to her on the changes before we make, movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So come off the agenda?
Yeah. All right with you guys? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's gonna come off the agenda until further notice of more information to follow up. Okay, public hearing for increasing fees at the recycling center continued from 6/14/23. Anybody wanna start on this one? Charlie?
We're still at the standstill on how we want to proceed with this, whether we want to do stickers and what the prices will be for the increase. I understand that the stickers are a lively debate. I would like to have a little more contact to figure it out if we're gonna do it, but I don't want to wait on the increase of the prices, because we are losing money as we continue to not raise these. So I please ask the board to seriously consider finalizing the increase of fees today.
Kevin?
I'm pretty good. I mean, I've looked this over a little bit.
Yeah, as far as I'd like to see too, is just, as far as the stickers go, if it needs more, conversations or whatever to decide what we're gonna do or how we're gonna do it, if we're gonna do it at all, we can put that off, but these prices need to be installed immediately. Because we are, especially, Jesus,
Especially
some of this
before I
stuff
bring
we're
my
just getting
microwave.
killed on.
The microwave alone,
Yeah. Oh, that and the smoke detectors, Jesus. we
and
never
the
even charged for
CFCs,
those.
I mean, the issue, we're charging 20 and we're getting charged 50, so.
So I
Okay,
think that's
so-
something we need to do, Mr. Chair.
Well, we're gonna talk about this a little bit more and hopefully take action on it.
Okay.
So these prices here that we've been readjusted, Carla, are you comfortable with these?
I am.
You think that's where they should be?
I am, and I believe that with Chris and the employees looking at it and the board having the actual invoice to see attached as to what actually has been, what we are being charged, I think it's fair.
Gavin?
So like, all right, no, never mind.
Hmm?
Retract that. I had a couple of numbers mixed up that I was looking at. So the electrical, the non-CRT stuff, we have like a range 5 to 10 and 10 to 15.
Yes,
That's based on weight, based on size.
Probably size.
based on
Is
size.
that what they do?
I mean, there's a lot of little equipment that comes in.
Sure. So do they have like a bin? If it fits in this bin, it's 5. If
Well,
it fits in
that's
that, if
what-
it doesn't, it's 10 or whatever.
No, we don't have that.
It's more just
Um,
experience on these guys, seeing
Okay.
the different sizes and,
Yeah.
making the judgment, because they've been doing it, well, geez, Paul's been doing it since he was, what, 14? So, I mean, he's got the best view of all of it, so.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good at it.
And going forward with that, things like the non-CRTs, we are hoping that we're going to have a Gaylord with on a pallet, so we can bring all those little small electronics and just put it in versus paying the labor for the people to come pick them up.
Yeah.
I've been trying to fight them for that for years.
Well, they're not coming in picking up without them, so.
Well, we've been asking for them for years and they won't give them to us.
Where do they come from?
They come from CRT, where's my, Complete Recycling Solutions, and they are out of Fall River.
Out of
Believe it or
Fall
not,
River.
I know. They come a long way. There's a place in Gardner that a lot of people use, but I found them too expensive and not reliable.
So we just can't get a gate, so are we ready for a pickup from them?
Not right now.
No, how often do we pick up usually? Maybe once a year?
Oh, no, we pick up whenever it's ready, and this last one was in February, so I don't think we'll be ready to pick up until probably the fall.
Yeah. It's
Probably
a
twice a
huge
year.
container
Twice a
that,
year?
where they put all the TV sets and all
It's the
that
40
stuff.
foot, and then we have actually the
Oh, they bring a
overflow.
40 footer.
Yeah.
It's the big electronic 40 footer, and then it's also the container that's next to the recycling building. There's
Oh,
an
yes.
overflow there, which all the big CRTs go into. And then they also take all the batteries, so you gotta think about all the batteries in the battery shed.
Take the
so
light bulbs too, don't they?
yes, and the light bulbs, so there's a lot of containers, and when they're there for the whole day.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want them to come down and not have a full day's
Mm-hmm.
worth.
If I can explain to you with the chair's approval that, how that works is that I was there one day when they came to empty that container. Now, we have to pay them by the hour. And I don't remember, it was pretty expensive. I can't remember, it was $30 an hour or something, that we were paying them.
Labor, 75
Labor.
an hour, so it's right on here.
75,
So
okay.
we paid them $588
Yeah.
in February.
Right.
Yeah, that's just to take the stuff out and load it. When I was there, that was last year, and we've been asking them for Gaylords, because the guy said, he goes, if you put the stuff in Gaylords, he goes, we'll just wheel it out, wheel it on the truck and be out of here in a half hour.
Well,
Right
not a
now-
half hour, that's just for the little
He said the TV
electronics.
sets and everything go in the Gaylords. You can put anything in the Gaylords.
How are you gonna take all those big TVs that are this big and put them in a
Just stand
Gaylord?
them up, whatever you gotta do. That's what the guy said, he goes, if they're in Gaylords, we can just hook them up with the pallet jack and wheel them out and wheel them into the truck and be gone.
And we would be able to keep 1/4 of the electronics that we have in there, because that's why we have that 40 foot. We push them all in the back, we make sure that it's completely.
Yeah.
Now, there was a place in Leominster that we were using as well, and they were $1,200. Do you remember that little red container? And it
Yeah.
was $1,200, and they would take the electronics, just the electronics. And you could pack as much in, and it was $1,200. But they also said that they need to come every 3 months. And they didn't take the other things like the batteries and the bulbs and the CFCs. So this is a one-stop shop, is that
Yeah.
right?
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
Yes.
And
And when I talk to all the other transfer stations, this is the company that they use.
Okay, going back to the Gaylord, why is it we can't get a Gaylord? What's the delay there? What's the problem?
I don't know. I will definitely talk to them after this meeting.
Okay, now, to go ahead and approve the pricing, everybody's in favor of that? I'm agreeable to make that happen because of the fact we gotta go up on, we can't keep waiting on this stuff.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, as far as the labeling, as far as the stickers for the windows, I still think we should go as a board to the recycling center, not this time, but the next time it's open, so we can see what goes on down there as far as chaos and smooth operations, etc., to give us a better understanding of how to handle what we have to do to keep everybody honest.
Do that.
Okay, so
What you wanna do, yeah?
when's our following week to be there? After,
The
we're not open this
15th.
weekend, right?
Is it
Nope, the
17th?
15th.
15th?
The
Okay, so
15th.
if we all go down on the 15th, the next time we're open, is that something we're in favor of doing on a Saturday morning?
I'm there anyway.
Okay?
I'm not there till
Yeah,
after
then I
9
guess it's
o'clock
a
though.
little-
As of right now, yes. Yeah.
Well,
Would
would
it
be a
have to
good
be
time to
after
meet
9
down
o'clock?
there.
'Cause
We
I
gotta
have-
plan on spending a good half hour, maybe 45 minutes. to see what's-
I'm usually there for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, well, you're our hero this morning. Thank
No,
you
I'm
very
just
much.
saying, I
We're gonna
just-
give you the Attaboy Award this afternoon. I'm gonna be out of town, but somebody else will get it to you. All right, so you wanna come up with a time?
Have to be after 9 o'clock.
Have to be after 9 o'clock. You wanna go up for 9:30?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Everybody game for that, 9:30?
9:30 is fine.
We will be having a meeting there, so it's gonna have to be
Posted.
posted.
So the doors there open at 9?
No,
they open at 7.
7, right?
Yeah.
And that was for the 15th, you said?
And they close at 2? Can I make just one small suggestion? Would it make sense, well, this is just a question, would it make sense if we went at a time where the employees were there for a few minutes and the recycle center was closed? That way, we could do a little observation, and then we could close, and then we could do a little meeting with them involved, where we weren't being interrupted by traffic coming in and out. So that would put us at maybe doing our Board of Health thing at like a 1:30. If we close at 2, we, talk to them for 15 minutes or so. Just a question.
Yeah.
If that might help. If we can't do it early in the morning, if we could do it in the afternoon. I know that stinks in the middle of the afternoon, but
Yeah.
I prefer the morning myself.
I do as well, but I'm just throwing that
Yeah.
thought out there. Because we're not really gonna be able to engage, we can't definitively engage them in the conversation if they're busy working.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
One of the things that we are going to be talking about for year-end budgets is the recycling center was over on the salary this year because they increased the salary of the recycling attendant that has the loader license, and then we have a third employee that sometimes works there, and we need 3 employees a lot. So I have, the selectmen have increased it, and I've actually set a budget, which I was able to send to the accountant, which has 3 people there all the time. Now, whether or not they need 3 people, it's at least we have it there, and it's in the budget. So, and because we're gonna be closed for a month, we're gonna have all 3 of those people at the recycling center. So, I think that what we could do is probably have Nick, if we need to talk, because I do agree with you that it would probably be difficult if it's really busy. But we could have Nick handle it. If someone comes in and we're all talking, then Nick knows he can just walk away, because it's really Sean and Paul that are gonna be the key people to have conversation, okay? Okay.
Yeah. And there is times where you don't have people there constantly.
Yeah.
It isn't a constant flow. You get, it's weird because you'll get an hour of just constant cars all the time, and then you might get an hour with one every, half hour.
Over the years, I've been down there a few times, but I do recognize the fact too, that time has gone by and things can get busier than they were, because everything is
Yeah.
more hectic today.
Yeah.
I'm still comfortable with the 9:30 appointment up there, just to see how it's going. And if we're not happy with what we determine in that period of time, then we can schedule to do something different.
Yeah.
But we have to act on this so we can get something going.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I was just throwing that out as
Yeah.
So would 9:30 still be appropriate
That's
for
fine.
the rest of us? And if we are not happy with what we discover at that time, we can find another avenue to pursue.
Okay.
All right?
good.
So the date on that again?
It's the 15th.
The 15th. That is way off there, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it worked out.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be a pretty busy day. We're closed for a month.
So
What,
we're.
so why do we close it for a month? Just because of the way the dates work?
Yeah.
The dates, 4th of July was too difficult to get anybody to work on the 4th of July.
That seems completely reasonable. You kidding me?
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can I make a motion to accept the changes for the recycle center prices?
I'll second.
We got a motion to accept the changes for the recycling prices and a second. I think we reviewed this enough. We've all experienced where we're at and what we're gonna do here, so we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, we've just accepted all of our new prices to go into effect immediately, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so you need to make a motion to close.
We didn't even make a motion to open it.
Well, you technically did when when
Yeah.
Jim read the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that.
Anybody gonna make a motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing at 9:29.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Fantastic. Okay, that done, nice job. Minutes of May 2020,
I don't have them.
nothing to do there, okay? Invoices of the year-end budget review.
We have bug spray from months ago that was only $69, so that is done for the mosquitoes. Hopefully they're not that bad. We have
Something?
No, I'm not gonna give that to you because I'm talking to Western and Sampson. And then, we have a food safety course that Carla would like to take, it's a webinar today, on summer food safety, fairs, festivals, and food trucks.
Ooh, we need food
Yes.
trucks. We need food trucks.
$25, 1 to
Yep.
2, really think it's worth it for me. It's, I had to work with them filling out the band concert, and the food permit applications are killing me. So I think it would be well worth it.
What would it take beyond that for you to get certified? Food certified?
I'd have to talk to Neshoba about that.
And the only reason I'm bringing that up at this time is it'd be nice to have for food certified, so when we get into situations where somebody's got a certification, we have somebody here who knows what they're talking about.
As opposed
I'm not
to-
certified,
I'm not.
and I don't believe you are. So to have one of us certified,
Yeah.
that gives us equal rights to anybody else's kitchen,
Mm.
because she is certified. She worked in with Bridget,
Yeah.
it would be a big asset for the Board of Health to have her certified.
Let me talk to Rick about that, okay?
Yeah. So, and other than that, we want to approve the $25 for the thing today?
Make a motion to approve the $25 for the food webinar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
that's been passed. Fantastic.
Oh, we still,
Charlie, you can get the information on that certification and we'll make that
Okay.
happen for
And
you.
this is the invoice for the food safety course. Can I go back to the Zoom meeting requested by the Board of Selectmen?
you
What is
can?
that, Carla?
Under the additions, deletions, not anticipated, I just want to make sure that we're clear that because I was asked by Chaz, and he CC'd Eric, asking for the board to have Zoom meetings. And there's a policy, and then the email stated if the board doesn't agree with the current policy, that he's going to be making another policy that the selectmen will be doing, and he
we had two,
asked
Kathy?
for the board to please consider having Zoom meetings. So I can't answer for the board, so Jim's brought it up, and you guys decided that you don't want to do it.
Let's put this against the board again. You understand Carla's question?
Yes, I do, and they cannot make policy for an elected board as much as they want to, so they can't tell us what to do.
I agree with that. I was just reading the email again. So they do allow for remote. I guess we're not doing the call-in thing right now, but I think that would probably cover us
I,
and support the argument that we have in this case, if we continue to use the call-in number.
So at least people, Jim, who can't make it at 9 o'clock, because and when we have the public hearing for the tobacco, it's gonna be, and it probably, hopefully will happen in the summer when we have the meetings at 9. So I think that the call-in would be a good compromise.
As long as the board agrees with that, I don't have an issue with that, but I agree with what Chris said because of the fact that I've been around a while and I've never had this issue come in front of me before with all the years I've been sitting here. And when people took advantage of COVID, COVID is gone, we have to go back to the real world the best we can. So what's the board want to do about that?
I have no problem with the call-in.
Okay?
I do understand the point that's brought up to where the majority of basic civilization right now is using Zoom meetings and call-ins. It's probably more rare to not do it than it is to be doing it. So I understand that perspective. But I also agree that we're on a board, we're not gonna be told how to run that board. I do feel that the call-in thing is a compromise to that, and it gives us a little bit of, hey, we are open to some sort of remote call-in, remote access for meetings, you know, especially that are during the day. So there's a little bit of a balancing act in there. But I'm not crazy about the way that it was handled and presented either. I think that the phone thing is probably a good compromise on our end without getting railroaded on doing Zoom meetings. If somebody were to provide and set all of that up and say it's easy, we can just show up and run our meeting normally and it's gonna be on a Zoom, that's fine, but I don't know that that's really a possibility all the time, so.
The Selectmen's Chambers, I believe, does have that capability, so you would have to go up to the Selectmen's Chamber, and I don't know, with your schedule, you'd have to
Right.
look at, because the planning board's up there,
Right.
and I believe that they have their meetings, well, they used to, because they have midnight, but they used to be on the same time that we had them. So,
All right, to go back in history a little bit, since I've been around, I've been meeting here, with the exception of just a few meetings over the years where we had to be moved because this had been pre-booked where somebody had gone to Kathy before we got there. So we had to go elsewhere to do it. It's a public service here, we're here for the public, and I don't really have a problem with the Zoom. I agree with Gavin that I don't like the way it comes down on us. And I want to reiterate that this is an elected board, we are Townsend officials, okay? And there are no indications anywhere, to my knowledge, that tell us we've got to listen to anybody but ourselves. All right? So I think that's enough said on that if we want to move forward.
okay, so the next agenda will have a call-in.
If we can make it happen, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, that's not a problem.
No.
Just go back
And
to,
I think that's more than fair because things have changed, just like Gavin has said. We got to go with the flow a little bit, but we don't need it forced down our throats.
okay,
So,
okay, thank you.
anybody else?
Good.
No, all set on that one? Okay, future agenda items.
Shaw's has gone to November versus the next meeting. I spoke to Glenn yesterday, and he feels where the contract, we're not gonna be going out to bid till probably February. There's really no point in discussing anything now because the market's gonna change, and we're not gonna know what the budget is, and it would be better to look at it in the fall.
All right. I would like to ask the board if we should probably get, I'm not sure how this one works, this is out of my league, but if we could have permission to talk to council to find out what the state regulations are as far as us going out to bid again for the contract for trash. There's a stipulation every so many years, if something doesn't happen or if something doesn't happen, then you gotta go out to bid. I'd like to have legal counsel give us the answer on what those regulations are. I don't know them, and I don't believe that either one of you know them.
Are we not using a consultant again this year, like last?
We have the
We had
contract already made.
Tessa previously, and she did the job she did for the money she was paid. But I don't have a clear conscience in my mind what the state is actually saying to the local boards about how to handle their trash contracts as far as when they have to go out to be rebid. There's a number there about the, there's a, what, per diem? What's the name of that color?
I don't know, but I'm thinking
You're on
that
the same
this-
page.
I do, and I'm having this 10 years in my head, that if the same vendor has been there for, and it will be, because this would be
Yeah.
the third time. But they can do extensions, they can do a 1-year extension, they can go for 3 years. Anything after 3 years has to go to town meeting, so I think that's one of the reasons why the board has chose to keep the contracts for 3 years.
And I'm still gonna throw out here that I wanna see if we can get toters put into this next contract. Townsend behind the times of all these other cities and towns, with the exception of Lunenburg, where they still have pay-as-you-throw. But for Townsend, where we're all established with our contract, we need toters, because you've driven around on windy days, you can laugh at me. You've driven around on windy days with the tractor blowing all these round barrels all over the road, the lids don't stay on them, the whole 9 yards. So let's see if we can get into that. That's why I wanted Glenn here earlier. Go ahead.
I will never vote for that unless it doesn't cost us any money.
That's why it's gotta be in their contract.
Yeah, and he's not gonna do it unless you give him a 10-year contract.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Okay, that's why we need counsel.
Well, yeah, or, I mean, I bet you he could tell us the 10-year thing on going out to bid. I'm sure he knows that.
Yeah, I don't know
Also.
that.
Wouldn't we be better off to get it from council so we know we have our eggs on the right side of the fence as far as legalities are concerned with the state?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because he may know what he knows, but council's gonna know more, all the way down to how to govern ourselves to prepare a contract. And if we have to put it out for bid, it's gotta be a sealed bid. So there's a lot to discuss. That's why I really think we need to talk to council to find out what happened.
Yeah.
Town council-
Fortunately- Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, town council office hours
Yeah.
are the last Tuesday of the month. We just missed it yesterday, but I could certainly ask to talk to town council when they're in the building next, which will be next month.
Yeah, that would still be in good time.
Is
Okay?
that something the whole board could meet with them, or?
We
is that-
should, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that'd be good.
Yes,
could
we
make
should
it
all be
happen.
together to find out question and answer session.
okay, so
What do we have
that's,
to do?
Yeah,
that
Because
would
by us
be-
getting that information direct,
Oh,
we
yeah.
know what we're talking about.
yes.
So that would be
absolutely.
Tuesday, July 25th, and his office hours are between 4 and 7 PM. So depending upon who's on the schedule, you usually have 15 minutes or a half hour,
Yep.
and they tell us. If it pleases the board, would you like to request a 4 or a 6:30, later, earlier?
Yeah.
Do you have any
I'm
preference?
open to whatever time's available.
That's one meeting we're gonna have to work on because you have to figure out your schedule, Gavin.
I'm sorry, what day was that?
It's Tuesday, July 25th, from 4 to 7 PM is when he comes into the town hall. So they would give us a time, and I could, when I request, I can request at 4 o'clock if that would be better for you than just waiting.
4's better.
Okay,
I have an appointment at 6,
okay,
so I'd have to be kind of ready for that by 5:30.
okay. Sabrina is out today, but I will certainly send her an email, and we should have an answer in the next few days, okay?
No, sounds good.
Excellent.
Everybody happy with that?
Very good.
Okay, so then, that session with Shaw's, we'll worry about that after we have council, and we'll talk about that at that point, so that'll be continued, okay? Now, everybody else set with what I just said as far as Shaw's? After we talk to council, we can talk to Shaw's? Okay? Okay, the next meetings, 7:26, 8:09, and 8:23.
But
9 a.m.
now you have 7:15 as your next meeting at the recycling center.
Oh,
And
thank
you also possibly have one on the 25th at 4 PM.
And those will be, to be announced. Okay.
Except the 6:15, we said we're gonna do that one, so.
Mhm.
The only other one that would.
7:15.
7:15.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wrote 6:15. That's gone.
Okay, looks like we're to the bottom of the list.
Real quick,
Whoops.
if I can just go back to the food servers permit thing. So last year, I believe it was, there was a situation where we were having the Thursday nights on the Common. With
Band concerts.
The band concerts, right? Oh, is that happening at all this summer? Do we know? So I know there were some folks that were serving, handing out food, may or may not have been permitted, may or may not have known about it. Can we kind of preemptively think about that and at least make that easy for them and possibly waive that fee for that situation? Or for something involving a town band concert, a town-sponsored event like that, to make it as easy as possible? Is that something that we can do, can think about before we get to a point where there's food being distributed?
The food permit application is a little intimidating. Betty Mae Tenney, I believe, is the coordinator.
For the VFW.
For the band concerts.
Oh,
And
she's the
also,
one for the band
I
concerts
believe
too?
so, yes, I believe she's the one who coordinates, and Karen Clement. And I helped facilitate the VFW getting their food permit. And they were able to work with the Friends of the Library, and they were able to look at what they did, so they're less intimidated. They also waive the fee for nonprofits.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay, and I don't think that we can waive the fee because that's a fee that the Neshoba Board of Health has to do because they're the ones that
They're the ones
actually
doing
do the
it.
inspection.
Okay.
So you have to pay for their time.
Okay.
So that's where that $50 goes, but they do waive it for the nonprofits, and let's think about it, the band concert, probably 75% of the people there are gonna be nonprofit.
Right.
You know, the Friends of the Library, the seniors,
Yeah.
so.
I just was thinking about it. It's such a nice event, but I really want to make sure it's done the right way, and being a town-sponsored event, to make that as easy as possible
Yeah.
for
On foot.
everybody would help.
Let me reach out to Betty Mae and see if she's the right person and what her thoughts are about what's happening this year. And
Okay.
did she have any issues? Are all the people permitted? Does she know? Does she have any concerns? The Board of Health is here to help facilitate the process.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with like waiving fees if that's even possible, but they still need to get permits
100%.
because, you know, obviously if someone eats something, gets sick, we'll be able to trace it, you know, and make sure that someone's responsible for it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Jim. That's what I
Prove
think. Just throwing that out there.
Prove it. All right, are we all set to say this last adjournment thing?
I'll make a motion to close the Board of Health meeting at 9:45.
I second.
You too. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. Nice meeting. Thank you all so much.